I'm Little Ed again.
I'm Dr. John.
And another installment of Enuff Already.
Music.
Play it, maestro.
Dropping knowledge bombs on the mic. Dr. John keeps it straight, making sure it's tight. Together there are force. Podcast duo so fly, bringing truth and wisdom, reaching for the sky.
Before we say anything, I listen to a lot of podcasts. And I think our song's the best. I really do.
Well, of course you're biased.
Maybe a little bit. Anyway, let's. We're going to talk about early voting.
Early voting, man.
I know, it's awesome.
We've been telling you people, early vote.
Apparently everybody's been listening because it's all over the country where there's early voting. People are showing up in droves.
Record levels of people showing up to vote. And guess who they're voting for?
It ain't Kamala.
No, they're voting for Trump.
That's right. In droves.
Ohio, how many voted in Ohio?
There's over 300,000 people who's already voted in the state of Ohio. 81,000 of them are mail-in votes or dropped off at the drop box, and the rest of them are in person, showing up at the Board of Elections, like John and I did, and Scott and Diane did, and Shelley, and voted for the best president we've ever seen in our lifetime.
And it's so easy to do, and there's hardly any lines. I mean, they're doing a good job keeping the flow going. It's professional done.
I like it.
Yeah, especially if you're in the big cities where you're worried about a big line. Get in an early vote because you're really going to appreciate the fact that you did that. It's going to be so much easier for you.
And North Carolina opened up today, and
the guy rode his horse.
Yeah, there's a guy who rode his horse down to vote. He wanted to make sure he got his vote in there. And he ain't the only one, John. A lot of the people that they rescued, one of the first things they asked is when and where can they vote and how they're going to do it.
What else they got to do?
Well, besides rebuild roads and houses and everything, I guess they could go vote. But I mean, $750 is only going to buy you a couple pieces of wood, you know what I mean? So
I agree. All over the country, Georgia, record amounts of people early voting.
Maricopa County, Arizona, record
numbers. Everybody, record numbers of early voting. I'm so proud of you people. We're getting out there. We're taking advantage of the Democrat plan, how they tried to foil us last week with this bullshit early voting thing. Said, okay, you want to play that game? We're going to play it too.
Right on. And I watch, I'm not going to mention anybody, I'm not going to plug any news source or any, but I do watch quite a few of them just to see what the enemy's up to. And they're having a hard time finding even someone that'll admit they're voting
whining.
for Kamala.
That's what they're doing. They're whining.
There was even a guy that went into a barbershop, a black barbershop, and there was quite a few gentlemen in there, and not one of them were even interested in voting for Kamala. They had no interest in her whatsoever. One even went as far as saying, she ain't black.
Yeah.
She's not black.
She's not black. She's
Indian
and Irish and a little bit of black.
I think I have more black than she does.
And you people could tell me, you're wrong, that's a lie. Well,
no, it's true. It's true.
But
things are going nicely. There's been more Republicans registered and voting in the state of Pennsylvania than ever in the history. And all the betting markets have Trump up quite a bit. And you look at all the polls that are coming out now, they're saying basically Trump's ahead in all the swing states. So, God willing, we'll have 45 as 47.
She can't pull more than 30% of the vote.
There's
just no way.
She's never had a vote in her life. Nobody's ever voted for this person ever.
And nobody still knows what she wants to do.
No. Did you see the interview?
Every time she talks, I run to the fridge and get my salad dressing out.
You see her
pouring it on the TV. Some more salad.
Did you see her Fox interview, John, with Brett Baer, where all she did was he never even got a question out, and she's arguing with him.
She said Trump 57 times.
Yeah. Well,
in her interview with him, I'm like, you got Trump on the brain.
She didn't want to talk about immigration, and it was all Trump's fault. And she didn't want about inflation; it was all Trump's fault. And
well, you know what I don't get about
they're
complaining, going. So your theory here, I'm going to break your theory, people that are saying, we're all reading the repercussions of what Trump did for 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so Obama was in there for 8. So how come the last 4 years of Obama sucked?
Right. Well, I would argue all 8 years of Obama sucked.
He was in there for 8 and it sucked. And, he had a bad time, but he had 8 years and he didn't make a big difference in 8 years. It didn't change from the first 4 to the second 4 very much.
Right.
It didn't start getting better until his last 2 years because
Obama's?
Because he was leaving.
Because he was leaving.
Right.
Trying
Well,
to get Hillary in.
Everybody's
Yeah.
talking about the stock market now being up and everything. That's anticipation of Trump coming back into office is all that is. We're gonna see an energy boom like we've never seen in this country, especially if we control all three branches. It's gonna be on like crazy, and
Trump
we're all
changed
gonna
things
benefit.
from day one when he got in there.
Oh, yeah.
And all you women complaining about women's rights, I'm sorry. What right did you lose? Every time I talk to you, you all circle back to the main thing: killing babies and abortion.
Which you
it's
still
not about
can.
rights. It's just about you're worried about your abortion rights. You're not worried about women's rights. You've proven that by letting men in the sports, letting men in the pageants, letting men in the anything that's involved that's women only, letting the men in and win all the things. Men in the pool, men in the hot, whatever.
And for you guys out there, there's been more abortions since the reversal of Roe versus Wade than there was since like 2012. So, they've killed over 1 million babies since that happened. So,
But you know what it is,
you
Ed?
Satanists should be satisfied.
I hate
by
to
now.
say this, but you know what that is? It's population control.
Right, and it's
they
black.
don't realize it.
It's black population
Black
control.
population control. They're wanting to cut down on the population, and abortion is the
That's right.
main way
Exactly
they're doing
right.
it. So we can get rid of a lot of population, convincing these people to abort all these babies. And they're
Exactly
so
right.
dumb they don't realize that that's what they're trying to
They're
do.
starting to figure it out. They're starting. The black population's starting to wise up, John, and I think it's the fact that they've brought in all these immigrants, and they're catering to them now.
Instead of
and they're treating
trying
black
to suck
people
up to the
like
black
they do
people,
us
say,
white
look what we'll
people.
do for you, and
Right.
then never do nothing for them.
Now they're doing it they're giving it to the immigrants. you
Yeah,
know?
but they never give it to the black people like they're giving it to the immigrants.
No,
Holy
hell
cow.
No, not at all. They gave the immigrants all the FEMA money. That's why
They give them everything.
That's why Kamala can only give them $750 that they have to pay back.
You know, and
Ridiculous.
when we had the immigration back, when the Irish and the Italians and all the people came from Europe, the people didn't get in line, stand around and get checks. They said, here you are, learn English, get to work, assimilate to the American way, and do the best you can.
Well, you had to support yourself when you came
They had
here.
to support themselves, find jobs,
Right.
and work. They weren't just taken care of. There was not a one of them taken care
And
of.
let's get this straight. I'm all for legal immigration.
Yes.
But I don't want Venezuela gangs in here. I don't want El Salvadorian gang. I don't
Oh,
want.
just see where they say, oh, that's a lie. They're not taking over Aurora. It was just a couple
Just
of
a
complexes.
couple.
Well, how many's too many?
Did you hear yourself say that?
The hell? How many is too many? Two?
Right.
Two's okay, but if they would have done 4, then we got a problem.
That's got to be one of my favorite things that J.D. Vance has said so far. When that woman said, "There's only been a few of those places," and he's like, "Do you hear yourself?"
Yeah, I mean, 2's okay.
I don't know.
Bullshit.
Man. These people, if it doesn't affect them directly, they don't give a shit. They just, we've met the same. We know them kind of people, John. We've met them. If it doesn't affect them directly, and by the time it does affect them, it's going to be too late for them to do anything about it. But the media is paid. They're paid
If it
propagandists.
affects them, they get the National Guard and the police, and they sweep them all up and they take them away from them.
Right, like
and
what-
take them over by us and say, here, you could have them.
Well, and I honestly, they say Trump's got 26% of the black vote, which is unheard of for a Republican to have that kind of number. But and I have a feeling this is why, that they're just getting shit on, and they finally realizing it, that that's all they've ever done was just lie to their faces every 4 years, and after the election's over, they forget they even exist.
Trump was never considered racist when he was just a billionaire running around on shows like Oprah and
Oh, they
everything
loved
else,
him.
and he was just a superstar. They all loved him
Even
until
Al
he
Sharpton.
became president. Even Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, all them guys. They loved Trump.
Yep.
And then he ran for president. Oh,
And how many
he's racist.
How many rap songs has Donald Trump mentioned in? Seriously, I mean, they loved him. They still love. You know what? The real people still love him. The fake people are the ones that don't
keeping
love
track
him.
of time, timekeeper.
We're right here.
Oh, I'm keeping track of time tonight.
That's
My
right.
mistake. We're missing Paula, who
Yeah.
usually runs our camera, so
Paula's
tonight
sick.
we're freelancing.
Yeah, Trump got the Ellis Island Award with Rosa Parks and Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
Exactly right.
Exactly. They're
Yep.
one of our distinguished guests.
And he happened to show up to the Al Smith dinner last night while Kamala sent in a video
And now wait a minute.
and did a
And she
Call Me
couldn't even
Daddy
do her own
podcast.
video. She had some girl acted like a Catholic girl, did most of the video, and
Right.
Kamala didn't really say squat
That
and let the
wasn't
girl
even-
do the whole video.
That wasn't really funny when she was popular.
And it wasn't funny,
No, not at all funny.
and it was stupid, and she didn't say anything.
What Gaffigan-
Again, because she's afraid to say too much. And then
What-
she read the last bit off her teleprompter.
What Gaffigan say about it? Something about it's kind of the same equivalent of when he tried to FaceTime his daughter during a piano recital.
Yeah, FaceTime at my daughter during a piano recital.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, well, let's move on to the next topic, which is the
The 3-minute rant.
Oh, we're gonna do the rant. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
It's going to be one you all can relate to. Let me see here. How do I do this? I forget.
Just don't throw it.
I threw the last one because it was a piece of crap. Bam!
Me and John aren't too good with technology
So-
or robocalls.
Here's my rant tonight.
Robocalls.
I am sick of trying to call for warranties, or I tried to call for a credit card, a new one, and I get a computer and they give me like 8 choices. None of them happen to be the
Dial
one I
1
want,
for English.
right? Oh, you had to do that first. Had to get the English.
Right, and then the lady answers goes, "Is this Edward Doa?"
Oh no, you don't get that. You go press 1 if you want this. I press 1 and I go 2,
Right.
3, 4, 5. And I'm going, well, maybe it's 3. I keep that in my head and I go through and I say, well, no, I guess it's 3. And then I get disconnected.
I like it when they call me and say, "Please hold for an important information about your credit." Well, first of all, I don't even want to discuss my credit, so I'm not going to hold for it.
And if it was important, they wouldn't put me on hold.
True. And I always have to go through like 6 or 7 different operators before I can find one that speaks English.
Nobody wants to answer the phone, and then this cat answers the phone, and I don't know where he's from. He didn't have roosters and chickens in the background, thank God, this time.
Thank God.
But I couldn't understand him.
I had one guy, completely Indian, trying to convince me that he was in New Jersey. No, he wasn't.
Well, the gal I called about the washing machine, I heard, I go, what's that? You got chickens in the background. She goes, well, yeah, uh-huh. I'm like, what, are we in the backyard in Vietnam, or where are we at?
You probably were calling Vietnam,
But
John.
it's so discouraging to try to get anything done because they don't have people answering phones anymore, and then it sends it somewhere overseas to some guy sitting in a who knows where, waiting for a
He's in
phone
a cubicle
call.
with 29 other guys doing the same scam.
Or sitting in the backyard with the chickens.
Probably had a baby in her hand, stirring some rice.
So, and all I wanted was 2 replacement cards for my gas cards. And then he wanted to go through a bunch of security and ask me about I said, I don't care about my bill, it's paid. I said, I just want 2 new cards, dude. If you send me 2 new cards, I will be happy.
I think President Trump, as a campaign thing, should say that he's going to work on making sure that all these robocall guys speak perfect English.
Well, at least
I don't speak any other language.
I got the one gal one time, and she started on a roll, and she blew through a bunch of stuff, and I was just sitting there, and I was real polite, and I said, dear, I said, we got a problem. She goes, what? I said, I didn't understand anything you said. I said, you gotta slow down.
I actually asked
Really slow.
I actually asked a guy one time to get somebody that could speak English, and he called me a racist because I can't understand
And
what
I
he
say,
said.
I barely understood what that was. Did you say racist?
In his defense, he said racist.
And I'm not trying to knock
I
on
knew
these
what he
people,
meant.
but
No,
I
know.
mean, why
But if
do
you're
we
gonna call
gotta
me,
deal with that?
Speak my language, you know.
All right, that's the 3-minute rant.
Or just don't call me. That's even better.
Yeah, don't call. And don't ask for John Spice, because I know that means you don't know me and you're trying to sell me something, you want some dastardly stupid thing.
Or Edward Doa.
Yeah, if you press 1 for English, you shouldn't get Aladdin.
I pressed 1 for English, damn it!
Or Vietnamese, or Indian, or whatever. That's just insane.
But
all right.
we still love you people, but
Yes, absolutely. Just
get a new job.
yeah, you shouldn't be doing phone work.
Okay, Gad.
All right, well, let's talk about Jimmy Raskins.
Yeah, that's
and-
Jimmy
and
Raskins
this-
thing. He thinks he's going to boot Trump on the 14th Amendment. We're calling it here because we know it's going to be tried, because they know Trump's going to win.
They're going to try to keep it from winning. They're going to try to keep it from being certified, which is an insurrection. I don't know why.
I would say it is.
I would definitely say it is. The will of the people want Trump as president. He wins the election, then he should be certified immediately.
Well, this 14th Amendment was acted in 1868,
Right.
and it was after the Civil War.
Correct. Yep.
And they were trying to keep people in
Confederates.
office that were Confederates from taking back a seat in office again, because they had said they had committed insurrection by
Right.
turning against the Union and the Constitution. But then they gave them amnesty and they forgive them for that.
Right. Well, they wanted to bring the country back together. We just fought a civil war, the bloodiest war we've ever
Spider.
had. Where 600,000 Americans were killed because it was American versus American. And that's what the whole reason they forgave him was to bring the country back together as a whole, and it worked. It really did.
Well, they haven't proven Trump committed an insurrection. That's a fallacy in their mind.
Well, he hasn't even been charged with it, John. But they're going to try to say that these guys weren't charged either, but they were on the Confederate side of the Civil War.
Yeah.
So you really don't have to charge them with insurrection. They were insurrectionists. They tried to overthrow the country. They tried to take over the country. Much like Kamala Harris and the Democrats did with Joe Biden, to be honest with you.
Well, you know, but that Jamie Raskins, I'd like to flush him down a toilet because he's just an arrogant asshole.
I've challenged him to a wrestling match 10 times. He never gets back.
And he thinks that, you know, he's so smart, and we're going to keep him from taking office, and this is what we're going to do, and he's going to try.
Oh yeah, but he's not. I don't think he's going to be successful at it, John. Because
I'm going to say probably an arrogant asshole, not that he actually is. Probably.
No, I've actually watched him in Congress. He's an arrogant asshole. There's no probably about it. He's definitely arrogant. But
fabricating evidence and changing evidence in the impeachment.
right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure him and Shifty Shift are butt buddies. Probably.
Shifty Shift.
Adam Shift.
That guy's gotten quiet, hasn't he?
Well, he's running for Senate. He's running for Dianne Feinstein's seat out in California, and some say he might even win it. He's actually he's running against a famous pitcher. I can't remember.
Steve Garvey.
Steve Garvey, thank you there. Uh-oh.
Going back off you.
You're not telling that guy's lying?
His mouth is open.
Well, that too, but this.
I like Jim.
His eyes get him on this big mouth. He goes, oh.
But I don't care for Jamie.
His face.
And he even said it on TV that they're going to do this, and then they're all going to need personal protection because it's going to be a Civil War type environment that he's going to cause.
And he's instigating an
they're going to
insurrection.
cause. And he's absolutely right, because if they try to keep President Trump from being certified, we most likely will be in a civil war, especially when he's going to win in overwhelming fashion.
Well, yeah.
I think at this point they've realized, even the Democrats are starting to get worried because it's actually starting to become
They
too
can't
big
cheat
to rig.
enough without getting caught this time because we're
Well,
up to everything they did.
Right, and it's too big to rig. There's people voting for the first time.
Although
millions of people for the first time in their lives are voting.
The Biden White House is suing Virginia because they took people off the voter rolls. Oh, you're not allowed to do that. And they're like,
Right.
no. And they're still doing it. No,
Right.
said, no, we can't.
They want to
and
put
I don't
that
have a problem with that. You clean your voter rolls up anytime you want.
Well, the ones that they're taking off there are immigrants that had registered to vote illegally, and they took them off the voting rolls, and they're suing to have them put back on because it's just the Democrats'
And then
way.
they want to grant all these people amnesty.
Right.
So but see, I don't know how they could register them now because it's too late unless they say, oh, no, we can still register them.
Well, if that goes through, John, the Republicans will never win another election for the rest of their lives. Yeah, it's just the way it's going to be. We'll be a socialist country and probably won't even have any more elections if things go the way that they want it.
If you're undecided and you happen to stumble on this, don't vote for Kamala. Please open your eyes. Look what the Democrats are doing. We're not going to change any Democrat minds. Their minds are made up. They're in fantasy land. They won't pay attention to facts, truths, or anything else. They won't hear anything to say, oh. But if you're undecided, really take a look at what's going on because you really need to vote for Republicans. You need to vote for Trump. Don't judge his character. Look at the policies that he did when he was in before.
These guys have Trump derangement syndrome so bad, though, John, that they can't even recognize when things were good. Things suck so bad right now. You're paying so much for food.
That was the best 4 years. 3.5. I was in business till the
I agree. I had more
virus hit, but we kept working right through it. We didn't stop.
Right, me neither. I always say during the Trump administration, I think I've even said it on the show here, that I was 2 weeks ahead of everything while Trump was president. And since Peto's been president, I've been 2 weeks behind on everything.
Yeah.
2 pays behind on everything.
Yeah.
And it's like I just can't catch up.
I can't go down. I don't buy my Oreo cookies no more. I gotta leave them aside. That's too much. I can't afford $4.99 for Oreo cookies.
Which are made in
I gotta
Mexico
buy this.
now, by the way.
I don't buy them
They're not even
anymore.
made in America.
I quit buying them.
they don't taste the same anyway. It's got Mexican sugar in it.
Yeah.
Drug Mart's got them for $2.99.
Yeah. Made in Mexico.
Now, well, you wait till after the show, John. But yeah, we just got to look out for it because we know what's coming. I have a feeling between election day and January 20th, this country's probably going to see some of the most violence that it's ever seen in the history of this country.
Oh, you know it's coming.
They're going to be
prepared, people, because
You're
it's
going
coming.
to see Antifa back out there. You're going to see Black
They're
Lives
gonna
Matter
burn-
back out there. And
You know what, though? They're just going to do it in the cities more than likely because they come out to the country, they're going to get
they
shot.
get smoked out here. Well, you
We
try
ain't
that,
going to put up with that.
try that shit in a small town.
Try it out. Yeah,
It
they
doesn't-
try it
it
out in the
doesn't
country.
fly.
They're not going to like what happens to them. And I'm not advocating violence, and I'm not threatening anybody. But if you
But
come
we damn
threatening
sure
my
ain't running from
family
it.
and you come out trying to do this stupid shit, I ain't going to stand around and whine about it.
Yep, we are definitely Second Amendment supporters, and we do more than
And I'll
support
give you a
it.
chance to leave.
Yeah.
If you don't leave, then it's your own damn fault.
Well, I'm not even sure I'd give you a chance to leave.
I'd give everybody a chance to leave, but
You come in my house with bad intentions, you're going to leave in a bag. That's just the way it is.
well, you got to give them a chance to leave and say, look, you got two choices here.
They
You
better
can walk
ca-
away from here, or they can carry you out.
John, they can't even catch me in my hot tub unarmed. I'll tell you that right now.
So they'll burn down Washington, though.
Well, all your liberal cities will go. You know, you'll see them marching on police
Another
stations
thing
and
I
shit
want
like
to
they
touch
did
on,
in Minneapolis.
real quick before we close. What about this Tim Walz thing, taking the kid to a gay club, and he was a teacher?
You know,
is this a valid claim?
I just started hearing about that this morning. I really haven't had a chance to really look into it. I hear it's all factual, that it's that it's a true story and stuff.
Whistleblower came out and reported him to do this to him when he's a
But
kid.
I haven't really,
look-
really researched it or anything. Like
Well,
I
it's
said,
possible to research because they're covering it all up.
right? Yeah. Well, some things can't be covered up, though. You know what I mean? I mean, if he's actually guilty of this, they'll throw him under the bus quicker than you can imagine.
Or this kid will end up dead.
Right. That's more likely what'll happen. They'll Epstein the poor kid, and he will never get another. Or they'll just pay him off. You know what I mean? They'll just pay him off.
How can you vote for somebody like that? You know, I just don't get it.
Well, he's kind of a flake to begin with. I mean, the guy's just. Did you see him trying to load a shotgun?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Elmer Fudd.
You can't tell me that
Matter of
poor
fact,
shotgun.
Elmer Fudd had way more skills than him, though.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I've never loaded my shotgun like that. Not once in my life.
I wasn't sure if he's trying to hump it or he's trying to load it.
I think he was probably trying to do both, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a master sergeant.
Yeah, he didn't look like a military man, did he?
Come on.
Oh, did you hear real quick, another Trump joke from last night's dinner. He says, Tim Walz isn't here tonight, but he's going to say he was.
Yeah, because he was there, you know. Hey, so that's probably a wrap, huh?
Yeah, we'll call it a night on the 14th Amendment. I'm sure we'll come back to this show later on after this stuff folds and just to say.
Keep voting early. Get
Yeah.
in there and vote early. And don't forget about our Supreme Court justices in Ohio.
That's important. You got to vote locally too. You got to vote your Republicans local. They're the ones that actually have a direct effect on your life. I mean, definitely vote for Trump, but your local politicians are the ones that have more effect on you than any national politician. So
Yeah, that
Jim
damn
Jordan, Bernie Moreno, Miss Shanahan, Hawkins, Dieters. That's who you want to talk about.
If you're in Ohio.
Right. And anywhere else you want, anything with an R beside it, that's what you guys will want.
And wherever you live, you got to vote R this year. I'm sorry, and I claim to be an independent because I just can't side with one party because I'm not. But I lean towards the conservative side. I'm a conservative independent
Well, I always
because I
say-
can't claim either side because both sides piss me off sometimes.
Well, that's true. Well, you got crooks on both sides of the aisle, John. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But as long
And I
as,
want them to work for it. If they think I'm independent, they got to work for me harder.
well, that's where the government. That's where we're screwed up right now. Is the government forgot that they actually work for us, and we're gonna have to remind them this election. That's why you're voting for who you're gonna vote for. But till next week, I'm Little Ed.
I'm Dr. John.
Good night. This is Enough Already. Was Enough Already.
Thanks for watching, people. We'll be back next week.
Wait, I forgot the email.
They ain't using our email anyhow.